Wow, another change of pace. Hope you enjoyed this watching this you on The Legend of Korra Season 4, Episode 8. 8, Remembrance. Yeah, basically, this whole episode was just pretty much flashback. Like, remembering all the good times, all the the good times, the bad times, and the awkward times, and some of the most hilarious. I'll explain. First you have Mako. He's training Prince Wu. But Prince Wu is pretty much a skinny kid who doesn't even know how to fight. Remember, he's a rich spoiled brat. I bet you he hasn't done a load. The only closest thing, the exercise he ever got through was walking up to people and waving them hello. That's how skinny he looks. Even though Mako's trying to train him to prepare himself, I mean, this kid was almost abducted, so he's training him to learn so he can better prepare himself. But while he's training him, we also know Prince Wu knows nothing of his past. So Mako decides to tell him everything. How he and Korra first met, how they dated, and how awkward the relationship got to the point where they broke up, and his cousin and grandma were there. So talk about awkward moments. That's an awkward moment for the episode as well. I mean, the grandma saying, even though she was kissing Korra, he was still dating her side, saying, "Shame on you, Bolin. You're exactly like your grandpappy." I'm like, was the grandpappy a player too? No. Oh, we don't know Mako and Bolin's parents, so he obviously probably takes after them. And we don't know a lot about the grandparents. I mean, is the grandma's pretty much a sweetheart, but we know nothing of the granddad. Yeah, so probably a lot like the grandpa. Yeah. But that's just my opinion. It tells the story, the equalist, everything, what happened at the South Pole, where Korra lost her memory, and where they broke up, and then she regained it, and decided, even though they still care about each other, they did break up, so they're still friends. That's part hard. And right after that, you get Korra and Asami, right? How Korra is still reeling from the fact that even though she is the Avatar, there's a part of her that thinks that she fails herself. Like, for example, even though she is the Avatar, she's supposed to keep balance. It's always a new threat, and an evil that comes into the world. For example, Aman, the equalist. After his defeat, there's Unalaq, Vatu. After his defeat, you got Zahir. And after his defeat, you got the great all-powerful uniter Kuvira. So she feels like every time she's doing her job, it's not enough. There's always going to be trouble around the corner. But then it's Tenten Tenten and Asami makes her realize trouble's going to come in all kinds of form. You can't stop. The thing is, you have to learn to handle it and to learn from it. And Asami also helped her realize, yes, she may have left the spirit worlds open, but she did a lot of good with that. Because of Harmonic Convergence, the Air Nation came back, so she just had to feel sad that she brought back an entire culture from extinction. And because of that, things still got awkward, but because of that, Zahir got airbending, and the Earth Queen would still be alive, even though she was a cruel, heartless witch. I'm not gonna miss her at all, but still, it's very sad to see a character die, especially how messed up it was. And new airbender technique, but I'll explain later. But you have to understand. And Korra, even though she still feels a little down about herself, she knows she is the Avatar. She has to be ready for this situation, and she can't just ignore it. As her duty, she has to remember she has to do it all. She can't do it all on her own. Even though she lost her connection with the past Avatar, she can still enter the Avatar state. There's still a part of her that's still strong. She just has to make sure to handle it. Next, you got Bolin and Varric. And their storyline is probably most hilarious. Yes, their flashback isn't just more flashback. It's about Bolin's life, Varric's style. What do you mean, like Varric style? Let's just say he's making his life into a mover, as in movie. That's the Avatar world's version of a movie. Movers. Let's just call them movers. Movers. It's still a little ridiculous, but you get the point. But you have to understand that's the concept. He's trying to take Bolin's life and make it into this kind of mover story. He was responsible for making Bolin a mover star. I mean, because of the whole Nuktuk story, but that was in book 2. So, but you have to understand, Varric, even though he's a bit of an egomaniac, and he writes his stuff in the story a lot, and he even brought back all the bad, even though they brought back all the bad guys that Korra faced and won and fought against and won. When he makes it seem like Bolin is the main hero to all that, making it seem like he's the Avatar, but we all know Varric has an overactive imagination, a huge ego, and maybe genius, but he's also a bit crazy. But Bolin is Bolin, and he's one of those likable characters you could possibly ever meet. In fact, some of his goofy-hearted nature reminds me a lot of Sokka, but Sokka was never, Sokka was never that. I'm gonna call him the Sokka of the series. I'm gonna be for real. Bolin is the Sokka of the series. And that's how the episode ends. Like, literally, the whole thing was just flashback memories, and we even got to hear the voices of some of our best villains and bad guys that we haven't seen in a while. Now, who? I'm not gonna tell you who, but let's just say they all put Korra to hell in one form or another. So, yeah. So if you guys are fans of Legend of Korra and you guys like flashbacks, I suggest you see this episode. And remember, there are always memories. There's good and bad memories. So if you're feeling down, try to remember. Life isn't easy. So that's what you do. Anyway, I put the link down in the description. This episode was a nice change of pace. It's like, remember, they're trying to make this is the last season. So my guess is they're trying to make this season more longer than the last Legend of Korra episodes. I mean, hello, Avatar, or The Last Airbender. The first 2 seasons were 20 episodes, and the last season was 21, including the epic 4-part season finale, Sozin's Comet. Hopefully, when it comes to Korra and her fight with Kuvira, hopefully they'll give us an epic battle too. Hopefully enough to make sure that it's on par with The Last Airbender. But that's my opinion. What about you? I just want to see what happens next. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This is Sellavin. I put the link down in the description. Do you like it? Do you hate it? This episode was all about memories, remembering both the good times and the bad. And it's a nice change of pace. I mean, remember, The Last Airbender was about a boy who was the Avatar, and his duty was to preserve peace and balance to the world and defeat the Fire Lord. But sometimes, even though he was on his mission, they took break episodes between the original story, and they made it longer and it had more interesting. Even had character development. This was one of those episodes. Other than the last one, the episode before this one was a good one. This was also another good one. Even though it was mini, but you have to understand, good episode. But if which episode is my favorite out of this season so far? My favorite is the first 4 up to when Korra got her power back. But I gotta vote. One of my favorites is the one before this one. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Next part, comment, subscribe. Thank you. I put the link down in the description. Like it or hate it, whatever. Signing off.